John is 65 years old. Every single evening, after watching the local news, he prepares to stand up from his favorite living room armchair. He leans forward. He places both hands firmly on the armrests. He takes a deep breath and he pushes. But his legs do not respond the way they used to. Instead of a smooth, effortless, powerful motion, there is a terrifying moment of hesitation. A heavy, agonizing struggle against the invisible weight of gravity. His thighs tremble, his knees shake, and for a split second, John feels a cold, sharp spike of panic in his chest, the silent, unspoken fear that he might actually fall back down. When he finally locks his knees and stands upright, he realizes something truly frightening. His legs feel completely empty. They feel like they are no longer his own. When John mentions this terrifying sudden weakness to his doctor, he is met with the exact same dismissive answer millions of older adults hear every single day. The doctor pats him on the shoulder, writes it off as a normal, unavoidable part of getting older, and tells him to simply take more walks. But the doctor is dead wrong. And the daily walking routine John forces himself to do is doing absolutely nothing to stop the biological catastrophe that is quietly destroying his lower body. You see, John is not just losing strength. He is not just experiencing normal aging. He is trapped inside a microscopic, devastating process called the gravity trap. To understand why your legs feel so incredibly heavy and why the simple act of standing up from a toilet or a low chair has become a daily terrifying battle, you have to look past the surface of your skin. You have to look at the invisible biological wires connecting your brain to your muscles. When you are young, your brain constantly fires high-voltage electrical signals down your spinal cord and straight into your quadriceps, the massive, powerful shock absorbers on the front of your thighs. These signals specifically target your type 2 muscle fibers. These are your fast-twitch fibers, your survival fibers, the explosive, powerful engines that allow you to sprint, jump, catch your balance, and instantly stand up from a deep chair. But right around your 60th birthday, a silent, terrifying disconnection begins. If you spend hours sitting in an armchair, resting on the couch, or driving a car, your brain makes a ruthless biological calculation. It decides that you no longer need those explosive survival engines, so it quietly unplugs them. This is not just a muscle disease, it is a profound, progressive condition medically known as sarcopenia, but it is driven by a complete and total neural shutdown. Deep inside your thigh, your muscle tissue is organized into motor units. A motor unit is simply a single nerve wire connected to a bundle of muscle fibers. When you sit for too long, your central nervous system stops firing the high-frequency current down those specific wires. The brain physically disconnects from the type 2 motor units in your legs. The wires literally go dead. When John grips those armrests and tries to push his entire body weight against gravity, he is trying to use muscles that are no longer receiving an electrical current. He is trying to turn on a heavy machine with a completely dead battery. And the most terrifying part of this neural shutdown is that it is completely invisible on a standard X-ray. You look the same in the mirror. Your legs might even look the same size. But beneath the surface, your fast-twitch survival fibers are starving for electricity, and they are rapidly, quietly shrinking into nothing. This is exactly why you feel that sudden, horrifying weakness when you try to stand. This is why a simple trip on a living room rug can instantly become a fatal, bone-shattering fall. Your shock absorbers have been completely unplugged. But the medical industry does not want to talk about your neural wiring. They want to prescribe generic walking programs and light, useless stretching, which only activate the slow, weak muscle fibers, leaving your explosive survival engines completely dead in the dark. Let's look at the neural trap and the exact microscopic reason why standard exercise is completely failing your shrinking legs. And the exact microscopic reason why standard exercise is completely failing your shrinking legs. Deep inside your thigh, your muscle tissue is commanded by a highly complex electrical grid. When your doctor tells you to simply go for a daily walk to rebuild your leg strength, they are giving you dangerously incomplete advice. Walking is wonderful for your heart, but mechanically speaking, walking is a low-voltage activity. Every time you take a slow, steady step on a flat sidewalk, your brain only needs to send a very weak, tiny electrical trickle to your slow-twitch muscle fibers. It is the biological equivalent of turning on a dim nightlight. But when you are sunk deep into a soft, low armchair and you suddenly need to lift your entire body weight against the crushing, invisible force of gravity, a dim nightlight will not save you. You need a massive, explosive surge of high-voltage electricity to fire your type 2 survival fibers. But because millions of older adults have spent years avoiding deep squats, jumping, and explosive movements, the central nervous system has quite literally pruned those high-voltage wires. It is the ultimate biological law of use it or lose it. When the heavy electrical demand stops, the wires rust, the connection fades. So, when John grips his armrests and desperately commands his legs to push, his brain tries to send the survival signal, but the line is completely dead. The muscle fibers are sitting there in the dark, starving for electricity, slowly shrinking and withering away. This is exactly why standard senior fitness classes, the light stretching, the gentle stationary bikes, the slow water aerobics, completely fail to restore your independence. They only turn on the dim nightlight. They never generate the intense, survival-level neural drive required to physically rewire the dead connection between your spine and your legs. To truly rebuild your massive biological shock absorbers, you must force your brain to re-establish that high-voltage pathway before it is lost forever. And while mechanical movement is crucial, true neural repair requires specific raw materials to rebuild the actual nerve coating. There is a complete, scientifically backed biological blueprint designed specifically to reverse sarcopenia, repair the protective myelin sheath around your nerves, and permanently reconnect your brain to your legs from the inside out. We have put together a comprehensive, free presentation that reveals this exact cellular and neural repair protocol step by step. You can watch this private video right now by clicking the link in the pinned comment below. If you want to stop the silent shrinking of your legs, avoid a catastrophic fall, and rebuild your explosive survival engines, pause this video, go to the pinned comment below, and click the link to secure your access. But before you do, you must understand how to manually force your brain to send that high-voltage spark starting today, right in your living room. Because the secret is not in how you stand up, the secret is hidden in how you sit down. Let's look at the anti-gravity rewire and the bizarre 3-second chair trick the Japanese use to instantly shock their dead leg muscles back to life. Back to life. In Japan, there is a traditional daily movement that is deeply woven into the culture of their oldest, healthiest citizens. They call it Tachi Suwari, which translates simply to stand and sit. But do not let the absolute simplicity of those words fool you. This is not a generic lazy exercise. It is a highly precise mechanical neural intervention. When Western seniors try to squat or stand up, they focus entirely on the upward pushing motion. And when they sit back down, they just let gravity take over. They essentially collapse or fall backward into the chair. That uncontrollable collapse is the exact moment your brain unplugs the wires, because you are completely surrendering to gravity. But the Japanese approach flips this biological mechanism entirely upside down. The absolute secret to Tachi Suwari, the reason it literally doubles functional leg strength in older adults, is not the standing phase. It is the highly controlled, agonizingly slow 3-second descent. Biologically, this is known as an eccentric muscle contraction. When John stands in front of his armchair and slowly forces himself to lower his body weight over 3 full seconds, he is mechanically fighting the invisible, crushing force of the earth. Think of a massive, heavy truck driving down a steep mountain road. The engine does not have to work hard to go down, but the brakes have to fire with absolute maximum force to prevent a catastrophic crash. When you lower yourself into a chair for 3 full seconds, your quadriceps are the brakes. And to stop your aging body from crashing into the seat, your central nervous system is forced into a state of biological panic. It instantly realizes that a dim electrical nightlight will not save you. So it fires a massive high-voltage electrical spark straight down your spinal cord. It forcefully reactivates the dormant, sleeping type 2 muscle fibers. It demands that every single motor unit in your legs wakes up immediately to catch your body weight. And here is the microscopic miracle that happens next. This intense, controlled eccentric load literally floods your neural pathways with a powerful biological fertilizer called BDNF, brain-derived neurotropic factor. Alongside a vital surge of dopamine, this chemical cocktail physically rebuilds the rusty, decaying wiring between your brain and your legs. You are not just building muscle mass, you are literally rewiring your central nervous system. You are aggressively replugging your survival engines back into the biological grid. And you are proving to your brain that you still need those high-voltage wires to survive. But to truly reverse the sarcopenia and eliminate the terrifying fear of falling, you can't just do this randomly. You need a specific daily protocol that safely forces the adaptation without destroying your aging joints. Let's look at John's anti-gravity ritual and the exact step-by-step daily routine that will safely double your leg strength right in your living room. Safely double your leg strength right in your living room. Tomorrow morning, you are going to perform the anti-gravity rewire. Stand perfectly still in front of your favorite sturdy armchair. Cross your arms tightly over your chest. Now, take a deep breath and begin to lower your body, but you must count out loud. 1, 2, 3. It should take you 3 full, agonizingly slow seconds to reach the cushion. And here is the absolute most critical rule. When you feel the fabric of the chair behind your knees, do not collapse. Touch the seat as lightly as a feather. Hold that burning, suspended position for 1 single second, and then violently push your feet through the floor and stand back up. You have just forced your central nervous system to fire a massive, high-voltage spark of electricity into your dormant survival muscles. You have manually overridden the gravity trap. Japanese rehabilitation specialists have proven that performing this specific, controlled movement just 10 times in the morning and 10 times in the evening is the exact threshold required to permanently rewire the neural connection between your spine and your legs. Within the first 7 days, that terrifying, shaking weakness will begin to fade. Your brain will realize that you are demanding the high-voltage wires, and it will stop pruning them. By day 14, the empty, heavy feeling in your thighs will be replaced by a dense, solid, powerful engine. But you must understand, this mechanical neural reset is only half of the biological equation. You can force your brain to send the electrical spark, but if your body lacks the specific raw cellular materials needed to rebuild the physical nerve coating, the myelin sheath, the connection will inevitably short-circuit again. If you have spent decades suffering from sarcopenia and you want to completely stop the silent shrinking of your muscle tissue, while flooding your lower body with the exact nutrients required for total neural regeneration. You need the complete step-by-step Sarcopenia reversal protocol. There are specific, silent metabolic triggers in your daily routine that are actively dissolving your fast-twitch muscle fibers and hidden compounds that will force your nerves to repair themselves while you sleep. To get the complete step-by-step Sarcopenia reversal protocol, click the link in the pinned comment below. Watch the comprehensive free presentation right now before the medical establishment forces it to be taken down. The ultimate solution to reclaiming your powerful, independent legs is waiting for you. Just click the link in the first pinned comment. John no longer panics when he sits in his armchair. He no longer grips the armrests in terror. He rebuilt the connection. He turned the high-voltage electricity back on. Do not surrender to the slow, silent shrinking of your body. Do not let your survival engines quietly die in the dark. Fight the gravity, force the neural spark, and reclaim the crisp, explosive, unbroken independence of your youth.